each stage of childhood, there are 4 things that you must do. One is the index of suspicion. These are a series of questions that will tell you if you were stuck in that stage. Remember the last time, a month ago, we talked about oral, anal, genital, Freud, being fixated if you had too much gratification or not enough. Infancy stage is the oral stage. Now, just listen to some of these questions, and then you will see if you were stuck. And, actually, we went over some of these, didn't we? Yes, in September. Do you have trouble trusting your ability to get your needs met? Do you find it easy? Do you find it hard to trust other people? Will you go ahead and trust anybody? That shows that when you were little, there was trouble in trusting your mommy to nourish you, give you love supplies. And it's going to go throughout your whole life. If you're stuck there, well, there are 16 questions, index of suspicion. We don't have time to go over them all, but as you answer those with yourself, you'll realize, hey, I had trouble in infancy, and you'll want to fix it. So that's the first thing you do, just a minute. Then the second thing you do is called debrief, where you write down everything that you can possibly remember or that was told to you about your infancy stage. That's debrief. The third thing you do is draw some pictures and write some letters to your little girl, which we have just taught you to do. The fourth thing you do is a visualization, and the trance induction, you know what that word means? How you induce a trance. Like, how did I induce the trance? What we did is relax, turn out the lights, get as comfortable as you can, and we started back in front of the schools. That was taking you back. It's a short method. It's not the most highest, best way, especially to visualize with someone who doesn't want to. But this is excellent. This trance induction is excellent. And so what you do, it starts on the hypnosis or the meditation. It's in bold print. And what you can do with this is you can make a tape recording of this visualization. We don't talk about hypnosis anymore. Why? Because some people 10, 15, 20 years ago ruined it, and they hypnotize people back and say that they were sexually abused when they weren't. It's called false memory syndrome. Remember that? So we don't use that word anymore, but we do talk about visualizations. If you'll do visualizations with yourself over and over again, you'll get so good at it, you're truly hypnotized back to your childhood. You're there. Some of you were there tonight. I heard you crying and everything. So it's a great thing to do. If you do it yourself, don't let anyone else do it to you. The trance starts on page 94, or the visualization. Just listen to this for a minute. And where they have dots, that's where you stop and you sort of wait. Start by sitting quietly and becoming aware of your surroundings. Wait for 10 seconds. And you talk real kindly when you do this. Soft, gently, and kindly. I'll say, start by sitting quietly, becoming aware of your surroundings right now. Now do it. You can't. That's not. And we would like you to make a tape recording of your own voice, or if your husband will go with you, or your dear friend or someone will go with you. Now wait a minute. If you get a dear friend who is a male to do this with you, and you do these 4 things, and you do inner child work, you might fall in love with that guy. Especially if it wouldn't be in love, it would be in need, because he would become the good person you ever did. See? Being a therapist, lots of people say, Dr. Elson, I'm falling in love with me. I see how you feel. Actually, you're using me for a father figure. You're putting it into a romantic thing when it's not that. Let's work on it, though. It's okay. I love you, too. You don't just say, oh, you evil witch, you're... But if you're uptight with yourself, then you'll feel weird. See? Locate yourself in space and time, like I'm right here. Feel your back and your bottom touching the chair you're sitting in. Feel your clothes on your body. Hear as many different sounds as you can. Listen. Hear that? Hear that fan? So you're going down inside. Feel the air in the room. Just for now, there's no place you have to go, and nothing you have to do. See what you're doing? Centering yourself. You can read this and probably do a pretty good visualization, but you can't read it with your eyes closed. So the best thing to do is to make yourself a tape recording of your voice, gently, softly. When you see the dots, wait 10 or 15 seconds. Why? To get inside there. Play some soft music with no words in the background if you like, and read this on a tape and make yourself a perfect hypnosis tape for you to go back to your infancy. It's really wonderful. And you can do that. And, or if you're doing it with someone else, you're not going to fall in love with, get them to read it to you. You go back in time and you help your little girl. Then, when you come out of it, you'll read it to him. And he'll do it. Wouldn't that be fun to have a husband who would do that? Do inner child work with you? So he would do the index of suspicion, the debriefing, the writing of letters, share them with you, and he'd let you do a visualization with him, and he'd do it with you. And on page 98 it says, working with a partner. So write that down. Page 98, working with a partner. If you want to strengthen your marriage, you can get your partner to do that. It will really help you. You'll fall more deeply in love. You'll understand each other. You won't be yelling and screaming at each other because you'll say, oh my, I think you're transferring to me that I'm your dad and your little girl's really mad. She wants to kick me out. You really think so, John? And you have a leg up. You can work through stuff instead of yell and scream. Okay, so that's a book I really recognize, because certainly by just what we did here tonight, it's not going to be enough. You've met your inner child. You should fall in love with her. You should not abandon her. You should be sure and talk to her every day. If you don't do that, you'll abandon her. And you will be worse for coming here. Don't abandon her, especially if she was already abandoned. Keep talking to her. I talked to my little boy for a whole year. And one day, coming home from High Council meeting, I heard this song, You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings. That movie was Beaches, Bette Midler, remember that? And that lady on the beach who died of cancer looked just like my mom. And when she died, I cried my guts out. And I cried, Mommy, don't go. Leave me here. Please don't go. And I cried and cried and cried. A year later, I heard that song in the car on the radio going home. I started to feel like crying. And suddenly, I heard a voice inside of me, as clear as anything. It was my little boy, and he said, you can go, Mommy. I have Big Sterling. Keep at it. Don't stop. That was so cool. Yeah, that's really neat. So it can work if you'll persist. Rome was not built in a day. It did not burn in one night either. Right? Okay. I think that's